Hello everyone and welcome to game number 6 in the match between Team BskTeamB and eXe Firebat. This is of course game number 6. It is 3-2 in Firebat's favor. This is for of course the SCL, the Championship League at sc2clans.org, which you all should go check out that website if you haven't already. So without any further ado, we have spawning in the top right for Team eXe Firebat. We have Noxy, the pink Terran player, and his opponent is Caught, the yellow Protoss player. I said Terran, didn't I? The pink Zerg player.
You did say Terran.
The pink Zerg player, and his opponent is Caught, the yellow Protoss player. Caught taking the last game and keeping Team BskTeamB alive. He will have to win another game and then one more in order to win the series for his team. So it's all on Caught, actually, as if he loses, it will be over.
It will indeed be over. And it looks like Caught wants to go for some sort of Forge FE, which, you know, it's a very standard strategy versus any sort of Zerg opponent, because, you know, Zerg either needs to sacrifice their economy and go for an actual attack that can get there before cannons do, or they just need to go for an economy of their own.
Yeah.
Those are really the two options available. And I'm guessing that Noxy is going to be going for an economy of his own at basically any point now. He did go for spawning pool first, so I lost a bit of respect for him, but, you know, he's still a Zerg player, so I think solidarity is important.
I think it's a good choice, because if his opponent opts to do the annoying little pylon thing at the natural or at the third, he can deal with it by building some Zerglings and killing that a lot quicker than if he had gone for the command center, or for the... Jeez, I just think this player's Terran. If he had gone for the hatchery first, and his opponent had denied that, it could have been really annoying for him. And so I like the spawning pool first sort of play, and then he'll be putting down the hatchery here pretty shortly. Actually going for some Zerglings early on. This is interesting. It looks like almost one base play. I think he just wants to deal with that probe.
Yeah, I mean, for Zerglings, this isn't an extremely one base opening. I mean, it's more than two, however. I think he was just afraid that a pylon was going to get dropped.
Yeah.
And of course, the fastest way to kill a pylon is, without really endangering your economy, is 4 Zerglings.
Yeah.
It's very convenient. It's very there. It's, you know,
it's very interesting.
I can definitely understand it.
It's like I've been saying before with this metagame, where it's just kind of the norm for Protoss players to deny the third and deny the natural. And so Zerg players have just kind of expected it and dealt with it accordingly. Which is, you know, very, very cool and very interesting. And so his hatchery is going up at this time, and his opponent, Caught, is getting his Nexus up as well, just about finished. Also has a gateway as well as a cannon. This is very nice cannon placement in my opinion. Also the pylon placement is great as well if he needs to. He can wall off this little bit of area between the pylon and the top of this ridge. As I suspect the cybernetics core will go down here. Yep. And so he has a nice little wall here. He'll be able to deal with a lot of early stuff. And in the meantime, Noxy is getting a third.
Yep, and this is, of course, just a very standard play whenever you see your opponent win for Forge FE, because he's not going to be able to put any pressure on you until, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Forge FE is an amazing, just, like, damage to the amount of army that you can have for a Protoss player. It's really one way or the other. You either go Forge FE or you go for an army. There's no middle ground there.
Yeah, it's very, very passive play. Noxy going to be moving in with a couple Zerglings. He does see what is going on. He knows exactly what to deal with. And so this third is completely protected, and he's probably going to be going for those roaches. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get a little bit of saturation and then put down a few extractors and then the roach warren.
Yeah, of course, that would be a, you know, very standard play. It's, you know, just DRG, essentially.
Yeah, DRG Stefano. A lot of Zerg players are using this as of late, as it's just so strong. Roaches are so good in this matchup.
Yeah, roaches are good in every matchup, Kadoink.
That's true.
Like, those are great units. And it looks like Noxy's going for the amazingly hard drone. If we look at his units, he's already up to 35 drones, and he's still producing them pretty hardcore. He's basically hasn't stopped. If we look at his hatcheries, he's doing pretty well on his larva injects, which are of course a very important part of Zerg play. You gotta nail those larva injects if you want to win. There may be a phone going off in my background, but no big deal.
Totally cool, and oh man, look at this. Kot is going for tech play. He's getting that gateway up. He's getting the Twilight Council up. I actually think that this could be a big problem for him, as he will have Blink, but he doesn't have that many gateways, and his army is going to come out a lot later. And so if Noxie is droning up without any kind of problems, he will be able to hit the 75 drone mark, which he already has 48, and then he'll just get a max 200 roach army, no problem, super easy. So I feel like his opponent needs to do a little bit of pressure.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, whenever you're playing PvC, pressure is basically the most important part of the game. It's basically the name of the game completely, because, you know, it's this kind of passivity that will allow Zerg players to get out of control.
Yeah. Only getting his third gate, fourth gate now, a fifth gate actually, but he doesn't have anything in the way of units, and his opponent is already starting to build some Zerglings.
Yeah. Ugh. Still, these larva injects are quite beautiful. Sometimes I wish I could larva inject like these people can.
You totally could, Boisterous. It just takes a little bit of practice. He's going to be moving out with some Zerglings. This could actually be huge. He could catch these Stalkers off guard, and they're the only Stalkers he has got. Ooh, it looks like he will be able to spot him. Will he react in time? The Zerglings going in. A nice little surround, able to pick off one of them. No, he's not going to be able to get the second one. Ooh, he might actually. He's running him forward.
Yeah, these Zerglings... Oh, wow. Those Stalkers did not move into the best spot,
No,
and speed does finish for the Zerglings, so there's no way any of these Stalkers are getting away. And that was kind of a major loss for our Protoss player. Those were, again, his 3 units. And now we see our Zerg player just going for a crazy amount of Zerglings. How many drones does he have? He's at like 57. That's still a bit low as far as drones go. However, for one solid roach push, it's basically enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fine. He should get up to that 75 mark if he can. The biggest blunder he's making right now is building all of these Zerglings. He has no need to build them. His opponent is going Stalker. There's no other thing he would go. And so Kot is going to be able to come up here and take this third, and Zerglings can't really do anything to stop it. If there's 1 or 2 Stalkers in the natural and the rest are in the third, they'll be fine. In fact, these Stalkers are going to move out and kill all these Zerglings, revealing the blink, and yeah, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, and I think the Zerg... I can't really explain the Zerglings away right now. It was kind of it was a medium-sized mistake. I mean, I can kind of understand just getting Zerglings to like surround and lock down your opponent's Stalkers. However, honestly, once Blink gets out, it doesn't matter how many Zerglings you have, because they're just going to blink away. Zerglings, of course, still do a lot of damage to Stalkers. They're still pretty cost-efficient versus Stalkers. And, you know, they do take a lot of shots for Roaches, because they're just little tiny bags of meat that you can throw at your opponent.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to be building 30 Zerglings at this time. He's also getting the Zergling attack upgrade rather than the Roach upgrade. This is not looking good for Noxie. His opponent basically has a free third. It's going to be very, very easily defended, I think. And Noxie is actually having to deal with his own third.
I wouldn't say that it's going to be very easily defended.
Whoa, we're getting robot noises.
Man. You're just getting hit by thunderstorms.
I am getting hit by thunderstorms. Alright guys, I'm very, very sorry about all this. It seems that I have lagged out. Hopefully the internet will pop back up. I'm just going to do a check here. It says I still have internet. And actually, Boisterous, I just got hung up on. Yeah, this is very, very bad. Alright, well. Yeah, the internet is down. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Yeah, this is very sad. This could very well be the last game. It might not be. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah, BattleNet connection lost. Oh, this is such a bummer. Oh, I'm back. I'm back. I am back. Sweet. Is this still happening? Hopefully I'll get added to the call. Let's see if I can get Boisterous back in.
In the game.
I'm back! Hey!
How'd you pull
I don't
that
know,
off?
I just...
Are you still in
Yeah,
the game?
I just sat here and like hoped and hoped and hoped, and boom, I popped back up. Just a little bit of faith. For those of you who don't know, there is kind of a thunder lightning storm going on at my
I
house.
explained it.
Okay, great. Yeah, and so the fraps just continued on. Hopefully you guys will watch the VOD and hear me panicking a little bit. But yeah, so Noxie's still in this. In fact, Noxie's looking pretty good right now. He's a huge army.
Yeah, of course, which is the big reason for having Zerglings is because just look at this. I mean, there's just waves after wave of Zerglings. Now, of course, those were actually some of the most beautiful force fields I've ever seen placed. However, all of the sentries are going to go down, and you don't want to lose all of your sentries in this situation. I would not be surprised to see Noxie go for some sort of run by and just, hit the third, snipe the third, get the third the hell out of there. And Caught would also not be surprised, and he's sending some units there.
Yeah, he should be able to hold this off. He has enough stalkers, and if his blink is good, he'll be just fine. Some kind of interesting force fields going down. Ooh, and a nice blink forward. However, some more roaches are coming in to reinforce. But it looks like, in the end, Noxie will be forced to kind of go back.
Those are actually some pretty spectacular force fields because it basically told the roaches you either need to get really close to that nexus and my blink stalkers will surround you and kill you, or you need to run away from the nexus and my nexus lives on. Because honestly, those roaches were kind of prepared to throw away like half of their number just to get that nexus down. Because honestly, getting that nexus down is pretty important at this stage of the game. It looks like another huge wave of attacks is going to be coming in from Caught. Does he have the force fields to push it off? I'm honestly not sure. It looks like he's going to be going right for the snipe on the nexus, and he's going to score that snipe. And that's pretty huge. That's 100 seconds where Caught isn't going to have a third base. His main is still mining reasonably well, so he's going to be able to keep his numbers up and not really fall behind the Zerg player too much. However, the Zerg player, he's maxed. That's pretty strong. He's also going for a Hive and a Spire, so he's going to be going for some sort of Broodlord play. He has complete map control at this point. Caught really can't extend anywhere past his third base, and that's not a good situation for a Protoss player per se.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like Caught is going to be moving forward. Noxie really needs to pull back and get in a better position. Now he looks like he's in kind of domineering position with a nice, was kind of in a nice concave. Now he's kind of clumped up once again. Ooh, but it looks like he's going to get a fairly decent surround. Some good force fields going down, forcing the Roach army back, and Caught will be just fine for now.
Yeah, Caught really can't risk moving down to this low ground, because this low ground is just, it gets too easy for the Zerg to come up behind you, to come up around you, and to just absolutely destroy you. I'm surprised Noxie isn't going for some sort of like split flank attack, and that actually looks exactly what he's going to be going for here. I don't think it was timed perfectly, definitely not. However, it looks like he's prepared to just go in and dive the production, which is actually not a bad choice. Or maybe he's just going to dive the natural, which is also not really a bad choice, because that's just going to absolutely destroy the income. He does have, I'm pretty sure, the larva to just completely rejuvenate his army. The Zerglings are going in for the third, and that is so annoying for a Protoss player, because these Zerglings are probably going to get the third. It's going to be close. The army from Caught is sneaking back up there, however, these Zerglings are tearing this thing apart.
Some good force fields going down, though.
Yeah, those were pretty beautiful force fields. I think that is going to be the saving grace for this Nexus. There are quite a few more Zerglings sprinting across the map, however, I think he really needs to turn around and bring those back to defend, because Caught is kind of in a good position here. The fourth Nexus, there's no way that that's going to finish. And Caught's going to be moving across the map at this point.
And Noxie actually has nothing in the way of units. He's just now getting 14 Roaches, also getting some Corruptors, which are going to be really, really good against those Colossi. However, there are a lot of Stalkers on the field, so he needs those Roaches out, and he needs him now. So, yeah, start producing Roaches non-stop at this point, I would say. Also get those upgrades up. He doesn't have any upgrades for his Roaches.
Yeah, whereas our Protoss players have +3 attack for those Stalkers, and those Stalkers are basically just going to be ripping those Roaches to shreds. And this Protoss army is reaching eerily close to max. I think this is going to be a very iffy defense for our Zerg player.
128 to 87 army supply in Nott's favor. He is moving forward with his Stalkers.
Yeah.
He will blink, be doing some blink micro. This is so bad for his opponent. Noxie is trying to pull back to these spine crawlers, but man, there's just too much for Nott. Not just doing a great job. He does lose both his Colossi, however, all that's left for Noxie are the Corruptors, and this is so bad.
Honestly, it doesn't matter at this point. He's just showing how good he is, that he can get harassed like that, and honestly, I think Noxie made a bit of a blunder about going for the split force, and not really timing that third attack that well. However, you know, I was beautifully played by Cott.
Great job, Cott, for taking a second game. So it is now tied up 3-3. We will be going on to the ace match, and the winner of that game will win this match between Team Berserker B and Team Firebat. So congratulations, Nott, for keeping you guys alive, and we'll see you guys in game number 7.